Long ago, in the heart of ancient China, the Han army was trapped. They were tucked away in the Hanzhong basin, surrounded by mountains so high they seemed to touch the stars. King Liu Bang paced his tent, feeling like a caged tiger. He turned to his new general, a man named Han Xin. "The enemy has blocked every exit," the king sighed. Han Xin unrolled a dusty map. "They have blocked the roads they know," Han Xin replied calmly. "But they have forgotten the roads that have been lost to time." Han Xin's first order was strange. He commanded the army to rebuild the gallery roads, precipitous wooden paths that clung to the sides of sheer cliffs. These roads had been burned away years ago to keep invaders out. His lieutenant, a young officer named Bo, was confused. "General, those roads will take months to fix. The enemy, General Qi, will see us from miles away. We will be sitting ducks on those cliffs." Han Xin just smiled. "Exactly, Bo. I want him to see every single hammer and nail." Soon, the mountains echoed with the sound of construction. Bo supervised a sturdy worker named Mao and hundreds of others as they hauled heavy timber up the narrow goat tracks. Mao swung a heavy mallet, driving iron stakes into the stone. The work was dangerous and incredibly slow. "Why are we building a bridge to nowhere?" Mao asked, wiping sweat from his brow. Bo looked up at the enemy fortresses on the distant peaks. "The general says we must be seen, so we work." High above, in a fortress of stone, General Qi watched the Han army through a sighting tube. His aide, Qi, laughed as they watched the tiny figures crawling along the cliffs miles away. "Look at them," Qi mocked. "They think they can rebuild the Great Gallery in a few weeks. It is a fool's errand." General Qi nodded, his arms crossed over his iron armor. "Han Xin is not as clever as they say. We will simply wait. By the time they finish those roads, winter will have frozen them in place." Han Xin visited the construction site as the sun began to set. He watched Mao and the builders struggling with a massive beam. "Build more fires," Han Xin commanded. "I want the smoke to rise so high that General Qi can smell our dinner. Let the hammers ring out through the night." Mao looked exhausted, but he nodded. The fires grew brighter, casting long, dancing shadows against the mountain walls. To anyone watching, it looked like the entire Han army was busy at work on the cliffs. That night, inside a secluded grove far from the noisy cliffs, Han Xin met with Bo in secret. The air was quiet here, away from the clanging hammers. Han Xin pulled out a different map, one that was old, torn, and covered in moss. "The gallery roads are a stage, Bo," Han Xin whispered, "and our workers are the actors. While the enemy watches the stage, we will slip through the back door. We are going to take the old, forgotten pass of Chencang." While the fires continued to burn on the cliffs, Han Xin led a silent column of soldiers into the dense, overgrown wilderness. There were no paths here, only thorns and ancient trees. Han Xin and Bo moved at the front, pushing aside low-hanging branches. The soldiers moved like ghosts, their armor muffled with cloth so they wouldn't make a sound. They were heading north, away from the construction, toward the hidden valley of Chencang. The journey was grueling. They had to cross icy streams and climb over moss-covered boulders that had fallen centuries ago. Bo helped Mao carry a heavy supply crate across a rushing river. "Is the general sure this leads anywhere?" Mao whispered, his boots soaking wet. "The path has vanished." Bo grabbed Mao's hand to steady him. "The path hasn't vanished, Mao. It's just waiting for someone brave enough to find it. Keep moving." Days later, the Han army emerged from the woods directly behind the city of Chencang. General Qi was sitting at his table, still waiting for reports from the gallery roads, when the alarms finally sounded. He rushed to his balcony and gasped. Han Xin was standing at the city gates with his army, having bypassed every single one of Qi's mountain defenses. "How?" Qi stammered, his face turning pale. "The roads, the hammers. I saw them. Han Xin looked up and replied, "You saw what I wanted you to see." The city of Chencang fell quickly, and the Han army was finally free from the mountains. They had won without a great battle, using only the power of a clever mind. Bo stood with Han Xin as the sun rose over the open plains. "You repaired the roads openly," Bo said, smiling, "but you marched through Chencang in the dark." Han Xin nodded, watching the horizon. A true general knows that the strongest weapon isn't a sword, but the shadow that hides the truth.